Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. I'm Vlad. This is Matt. Ladies and gentlemen, so the election's coming up in Washington State, Portland, Oregon, and Vancouver, Washington. There are now reports and videos on the internet of 3 different drop boxes, mail drop boxes, filled to the brim with filled out ballots set on fire.
I saw a bunch of these. Yeah, I saw a bunch of these.
Blue. These are in very, very blue districts. Republicans are burning these ballots. So the Democrats are. That's just one of the chaos. Today they're running around with, they called Puerto Rico. I'm sorry. My family's from Russia, Ukraine, and Kyrgyzstan. If Russia, Ukraine, and Kyrgyzstan were such golden countries, we would not be here. Same with Puerto Rico. If you're a Puerto Rican, but yet you refuse to live in Puerto Rico and you live in the United States, get over it. It's a fact. We as humans always look for better places to live. Welcome to America. But here we want to talk about chaos that's already happening and going to just evolve even more, the closer we get to elections. So, Matt, what do you think they got planned? Because they're losing. They know they're losing. They see they're losing. I mean, for the first time in American history, we are winning in like 4 different swing states when it comes to early votes. The Democrats are voting like normal. Yeah. It's the Republicans that are outnumbering them.
I mean, in terms of what I think, you're asking me what I think is going to happen?
Yeah.
It's so tough to say because, first off, the media is pre-programming everybody to think that, it's going to take, 3 weeks or what they say, 13 days.
10 to 13 days.
10 to 13 days to count the votes. And the whole thing's completely absurd. I mean, they're obviously trying to open it up to fraud. They're going to commit fraud. Trump put out the cease and desist letter letting these people know, hey, if you're involved in fraud, you're going to prison. These people have no choice because if Trump gets into office, okay, here's how I look at it. If Trump gets into office, these people are going to be prosecuted for real crimes, not the fake nonsense that they're prosecuting Trump for, but real crimes. I mean, I don't know how much your audience has delved into, who these people really are, but I mean, Barack Obama was never born in Hawaii. The guy was born in Kenya. Right. I mean, there's been so much fraud over the years. And what scares me is that, if these people are backed into a corner, these people are going to prison. This is no joke. These people are going to jail for real crimes. So these people have no choice but to cheat. So what are they going to do? They're going to create other distractions. I think it's going to be financial. I think there's going to be a financial distraction here.
What do you think they're going to do?
They could start tanking the banking system. I mean, the banking systems, a lot of people don't know this. Maybe your audience, maybe I should tell them is, since I think the beginning of 2023, since then, I think we've had close to about 80 small banks go under. They're in receivership. They're being bailed out by the FDIC. Who's reporting it? No one, right? It's going to take here I am reporting the news. That's one of the biggest stories. We just had a bank on October 18th. It was out of Oklahoma. They just went into receivership. So yeah, the banks are already failing. So I feel like, here's the banks failing. Now we have the election. There's going to be some intersection of bank failures and this election because what do they need? They need a distraction. Anything to get the focus off who won the election, right? So we're going to have to deal with could be potentially a banking crisis that we have to deal with. Right. Meanwhile, they're counting the votes at the same time. It's become a total part of my language, but it's become a total shit show.
It's as a family man and who's got kids, if I had an option, go save Trump's presidency or feed my kids, it's feed my kids every day.
And
this is where they understand. Most patriots, most America First patriots are family men and women. They understand that there's not a lot of stuff that can really make us to not care about anything else or anyone else besides our wife, kids, our house. And if the banks collapse, that means your credit card's not working, your cash goes worthless. Right.
Well, at least no one's coming by to collect the rent or the mortgage.
But with that's how you stay in power. You destroy everything. because they have money. They have, bunkers underground all over the place. They're good. So for them to destroy civilization is nothing. These are heartless people. But this is where the Constitution comes into play. Because I've heard you say this before. I've said it before. This system is breaking. It's broken. Don't save it, right? But there's two ways to go about it. We either let them destroy it and destroy us with it, or we destroy them and their system
Exactly.
and rebuild. But the foundation has already been laid in the Constitution. What's constitutional money?
Obviously, gold and silver coins. And what I would do is I would point your audience to a Jan Halper Hayes interview. You can actually get it on the Gateway Pundit. If you go to the top website, I encourage everybody to do this. It's one of the most significant interviews that I've seen in a very long time. It actually was a little over a year ago. Jan Halper Hayes. She was on GBN, which is Great Britain News. She's American, but she lives in Great Britain. She's stationed there. She worked for Trump. She was in the DOD, or I don't know if it's the DOJ or the DOD. I think it's the DOD for about 30 plus years. Type in at the top of the Gateway Pundit. There's a search bar. Type in Jan Halper, Halper, Hayes, Hayes.
I know who you're talking about.
And you'll see in an interview, and she specifically said that in 2018, when Trump visited the Vatican, that he went in there and sent in 650 planes to take out the U.S. gold that had been laundered into the Vatican bank. Trump took it back at that time. So what a lot of people are going to learn is that Trump actually, during his first 4 years of the presidency, actually took back our gold, right? So when people ask me, is there gold in Fort Knox? I'm like, no, there's no gold in Fort Knox. But we learned last year that Trump got the gold back from the Vatican bank, who had, right? Obviously, the Vatican's an evil entity.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, Trump has already positioned this country clearly. What you can deduce from that is that Trump's already positioned this country to go back to some type of gold-backed currency. It's probably going to be a basket of metals, right? And the reason you want constitutional gold or silver, I mean, you could come here, you could buy bars. I mean, some people do that, and it's personal preference. I always tell people, it's like, as long as the customer's happy and has a smile on their face walking out, I'm happy, right? But I always try to encourage people to get the constitutional stuff, which is gold American Eagles and silver American Eagles. Why? Because that would plug you into a U.S. Constitutional money system instantly. So as soon as Trump announces, hey, we're going to go back to constitutional money, boom, you're already plugged into that system.
And it's not that hard to go back to all it needs is a swipe of his pen, executive order. We're going back, because that's how we left the gold.
Right. It was through Nixon's
just an executive order. Same with FBI.
Or just erase it. Right. That's a good point.
FBI can be completely destroyed through executive order because it was built through executive order. Same with DOJ. Like, I think we have over 480 three-letter agencies. We have more three-letter agencies in our federal government than we have years of the United States here. And everyone's getting paid billions, like altogether. A few billion there, a few billion here. This is why it's all got to be destroyed. It's all got to be taken down. This is why Elon Musk comes in, fires 80% of the federal government.
Yeah,
how many three-letter agencies do you know?
Yeah, exactly. You want to see the Federal Reserve System fail, and unfortunately, as I always tell people, is if you want to get rid of this deep state, right? The deep state is very real. If you want to get rid of this deep state, unfortunately, it's going to come at a price. And if it means that generations, our kids, their kids, right? If it means that we have to lose our savings in the process, or a large portion of our savings to do so, it's a worthwhile investment. Think of it as an investment, but you can still have the best. I kind of look at it as like, hey, you can still have the best of both worlds. Is you can get gold and silver, hold on to your money, and get rid of the deep state, right? It doesn't have to just be one or the other. But the people that are asleep, as I always say, like the liberals, like I feel bad for them. I feel bad because they are completely asleep to the stuff that you talk about on your show and what your viewers obviously have come to know in recent years. These are the people that are going to be most affected. So it's like, a lot of times it's like, I'd love to see these liberals suffer for the beliefs that they've held because they've been so destructive. Well, let me tell you something. They are going to suffer from the financial loss that they're going to experience by thinking, their way of doing things has been working, because it hasn't. And they're going to be the ones that stand to lose the most. So that's why I tell people, like, stay peaceful. There's no, don't resort to violence, just get out there, vote. And I think Trump will handle the rest, at least at the federal level.
Yeah. So obviously this is what you deal in. You got in this industry to help the patriot community understand what's happening, because you're really educated on it.
Somewhat.
How can people reach out? Obviously your phone numbers
Just
are
call
up there.
just call us. I answer all my own phone calls. I get calls from Vlad's show all the time. We even throw you on some of the phone calls. Like, hey, it's Vlad. But yeah, no, it's really personalized service. We're not some big, huge company, or we're just a little gold silver shop here in Glendale. Vlad and I, we both live close to the office. People want to come in and meet with us in person. You're welcome to come meet Vlad.
Come on the show.
Come on the show, right? We'll get somehow squeeze a third chair in here. I don't know how we'll do that, but
here.
it's we have a lot of fun doing it. And what's nice is we're really not. No one's really buying anything. You're really just it's a currency conversion. You're just moving to a better form of money. It's in your possession, and then just take care of yourself on the other fronts.
So, ladies and gentlemen, be prepared. Right? Again, I like to say this in the show. The Bible says that a wise man sees trouble and he avoids it.
Gets out of the way.
You can get out of the way. Protect your money. Don't be like my parents at the fall of the Soviet Union. They learned the hard way. So did millions and millions of people. But we've seen history happen. We're seeing it repeat itself. Let's be prepared. Let's be wise. And that way our children have a better future. Subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. Call Matt.
$3 a week.